The Lions have made moves this offseason to improve their defense, but I think that Matthew Judon is one final move that could really get this team over the hump. And we're going to talk about it up next here on No Buts About It. What's up, everyone? It's Josh here with No Buts About It. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe real quick. We have a ton of people watching videos that just aren't subscribed, and we don't want you to miss anything. So go ahead and hit that button down below real quick. Now, let's get into the video. So the Detroit Lions last season obviously had a historic season, made it to the NFC Championship where they ended up losing to the San Francisco 49ers. But that was the most success that we have seen the Lions have in a very long time. That's the most success that I have seen the Lions have in my lifetime. Now, one thing that the Lions really struggled with was the pass rush. And that's not because they didn't have a guy. They had a guy. Aiden Hutchinson is a guy. If you've been around the channel before, you know that I absolutely love Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, look at this guy. This is playing in slow-mo, but he moves so fast. Hopefully it loads here for you, and we will rewatch that. He's got some sick dance moves as well. Let's go ahead and rewind that for you, and let's rewatch that. Look how quick he moves. And he's going to strip sack, get the ball. I don't know if this ended up counting as a fumble or not. Who knows with the NFL refs these days. But it was a great play nonetheless. And that's what we have come to expect from Aiden Hutchinson. The problem was Aiden Hutchinson didn't really have a complement on the other side of the line. It was all him doing all the work. And the Lions have gone after guys this offseason. They went after Marcus Davenport. They got DJ Reader, who was initially with the Bengals and who I am going to miss greatly. But I still think that Matthew Judon is a guy who the Detroit Lions should go after in a trade. And here is why I think that. Now, is Matthew Judon even being considered on the trade block for the New England Patriots? We don't know for sure. They haven't come out and officially said that. However, there was this tweet that came out, and Matt Tardif said, if the Patriots don't give Mandam an extension this season, you can imagine what word was there, pay the man what he wants. We want a solid defense, which was the highlight of the New England Patriots last season, was their defense. And Matthew Judon said, I don't think that's going to happen. Now that could just mean he doesn't think they're going to pay him what he wants, but he is in the final year of this contract. The Patriots are rebuilding, and it would make sense for the Patriots to begin to start collecting draft capital to build around Drake May, finally get that offense going and build back to what they used to be. Now, why does it make sense for the Detroit Lions? Well, the Detroit Lions have already extended their quarterback, Jared Goff, paying him one of the biggest quarterback contracts in the NFL currently, so they don't have to worry about that. They already have him locked up. They also have a ton of young stars. They're in a win-now situation with guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who was also recently extended. You have the guys to get it done, and they got close last season. Matthew Judon isn't going to be someone who is around for a long time. He might be a one-year rental. That is a possibility. And I have done some research. I've looked into it, and there is a tendency that Brad Holmes won't make this move because it would be a one-year rental. However, do you really need to stock up on draft capital currently as the Detroit Lions? I personally don't think so. Obviously, you want as many draft picks as possible, But in the end, your ultimate goal is to get to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. And if having Matthew Judon, a proven winner, a proven sack machine, helps you do that, even just for 1 year, then that could be worth it. Now, last season, Matthew Judon, he went down with an injury, so he only had 4 sacks. He was only available for 4 games. He had a bicep injury. However, in 2022 with the New England Patriots, he had 15 and a half sacks, which is a career high. And he has gotten better. He'd been getting better up to that point with that 2023 season where he got injured. But in 2021, he had 12 and a half sacks. Every single year with the Patriots, he got better. He started with the Ravens, and the Ravens have a history of great defensive coaching, as much as I hate to admit it as a Bengals fan. They just do. John Harbaugh continuously brings in great defensive coaches, and they continuously turn out great defenses as well. So bringing in a guy with that experience could not only help Aiden Hutchinson, who is a sack machine, it could also help you if with any of your younger guys that you bring in potentially. Maybe even someone who is on the practice squad currently or is a second stringer right now. Maybe Matthew Judon is able to come in, help them, teach them some stuff, and they become a better player because of it. He has experience. He has experience with great defensive coaches on the Baltimore Ravens and on the New England Patriots. So I think this should be done. This should be done already. I think Lions fans would love it. And I think most importantly, the guy we love on this show, MCDC, would love it. He would be down there clapping. He'd be in Brad Holmes' office clapping as soon as they get it done. Because this move elevates the defense to a whole new level. They've already taken care of the secondary situation, presumably, through the draft. Their first 2, if I remember correctly, their first 2 rounds of picks were cornerbacks. They got Terry and Arnold. And then in the second round, I believe they also picked up a cornerback. So the secondary is presumably taken care of. Let's get that edge rush taken care of, Detroit. You know, I love rooting for you as long as you're not playing against the Bengals or the Colts. I love rooting for you, Detroit. I'm speaking out for my Detroit Lions fans out here. They've been good to the show. They've been good to the show, and I want to help them out. So Detroit Lions need to get this done. But what would it cost? Now, again, you're only doing this for a 1-year rental, especially because he's in the final year of his contract. I believe it's a 4-year, $54 million deal that he signed in 2021 with the New England Patriots. He's also older, so you're probably not going to extend him, but maybe you do. But let's assume, for argument's sake, that you're not. I think a comparable trade that occurred just this season is Hasten Reddick from the Eagles to the Jets. And the Eagles traded him for a 3rd-round pick in 2026 that can become a 2nd-round pick if certain criteria are met. Now, that is something that the New England Patriots might be interested in. They might be interested in already gathering up those picks for the 2026 draft because I'm sorry, they're not in a place to win now, in my opinion. The New England Patriots are going to need a few years of rebuilding. Gerard Mayo is a first-year head coach. Drake May could go either way as far as being the quarterback of the future. You're restarting. You thought Mac Jones was your guy. You've moved on now. So I don't think this year or next year are really seasons where you think you're going to be competitive in the AFC East, especially with the Bills and Dolphins being so dominant. So maybe I think that the Patriots would be interested in a 2026 pick. And maybe Brad Holmes is like, you know what? We're in a win now situation. They're in a rebuilding situation. We aren't going to need that 2026 pick because we're going to go out there and we're going to win this thing. And we're going to bring in Matthew Judon and he's just going to win it. We're going to win the whole thing. Now, I obviously want the Bengals to win the Super Bowl, but Brad Holmes is building a great team up there in Detroit. And final thing, this doesn't always necessarily go into it, but it might be something to consider. Matthew Judon's from Pontiac, Michigan, so he might be interested in maybe taking a home team discount. Doesn't always happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it is a possibility. So I could see Matthew Judon saying, "Hey, hometown, these guys are good. We could be part of history here, bringing the Detroit Lions their first ever Super Bowl win, uh, possibly even their first ever Super Bowl appearance. I'm not sure if they've ever even made it to the Super Bowl, but that could be a possibility. He's already got some rings, so maybe he is just looking to add more, and the Detroit Lions would be a great team to do that with. I don't want to make this video too long and just start rambling about nothing. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think Matthew Judon should be a Detroit Lion this upcoming season? If not, let me know as well. Let me know why you disagree. And until next time, go do something nice for someone.